My boss said, "We're like family here." I said, "Then I'm emancipated." It started as a joke, but by Friday afternoon, it had turned into an HR meeting. I'd been working at this small marketing firm for 6 months. It was one of those startups that bragged about free snacks, but paid you enough to afford exactly one snack outside of work. My boss, Greg, loved to say, "We're like family here," usually right after asking someone to stay late without overtime pay. The first time he said it to me, I laughed. The second time, I started to worry. The third time, when he said it during a mandatory Saturday team bonding event, I couldn't help myself. "Then I'm emancipated," I said. The room went silent. Greg blinked. Someone at the back snorted into their drink. I thought that was the end of it, but apparently, Greg didn't like jokes unless he was the one telling them. By Monday, things got awkward. My workload doubled overnight. Suddenly, every tiny task I did had notes attached. "Let's circle back on tone. Can we align synergy here?" Whatever that meant. He even moved my desk closer to his office. Said he wanted to mentor me. It felt less like mentorship and more like surveillance. 2 weeks later, during another family speech, Greg called me out by name. "Right, Sam?" he said. "You're part of the family, too." I smiled. "Sure, Greg, but I'm more like that cousin who only shows up for the food." Laughter again. Greg didn't laugh. Then came the annual Employee Appreciation Week, which in Greg's mind meant free pizza and a group photo for LinkedIn. He gathered everyone for a surprise announcement. Turns out he'd been reviewing everyone's social media for brand alignment. Translation: stalking. He put my Instagram on the projector. My post from that weekend, a selfie with the caption, "Escape my work family, currently thriving." The room erupted. Greg turned red. "Sam," he said slowly, "we might need to discuss your commitment." I grinned. "Already discussed it with HR." Here's the thing. I had, actually. HR knew Greg's family talk was code for guilt-tripping people into unpaid hours. They'd been quietly collecting complaints for months. I just gave them the final push. That night, Greg called me into his office. He tried to have a heart-to-heart, said he was disappointed in me. "We had something special here," he said, like we were breaking up. I told him, "Greg, I think we need to see other companies." 2 days later, I handed in my resignation, complete with a framed family photo of the office labeled "In Memory of Boundary." I heard later that HR finally investigated him after 3 more people quit. Greg was reassigned, which is corporate for demoted quietly. A few weeks after leaving, I started a new job. Better pay, better boss. No family nonsense. My new manager said, "We're like a team here." I smiled. Perfect. Teams win together. Families argue about who's taking out the trash. But the funny part? A month after I left, Greg tried to reconnect. Sent me a message on LinkedIn saying he hoped I was still part of the family in spirit. I replied, "Sorry, Greg. This family reunion's invite only." Since then, I've noticed how every company tries to sell that same line. "We're like family." Translation: we'll underpay you, but expect your soul. Now, whenever someone says it in an interview, I smile politely and ask, "Cool, so who's the dad that gets mad when I take a lunch break?" That usually ends the conversation. The truth is, I didn't want a work fam. I wanted a workplace that respected time off, didn't guilt people for leaving at 5, and didn't call unpaid overtime team spirit. I found that now. Real health insurance, actual bonuses, and my new boss, she's allergic to family metaphors. She says, "We're professionals. We don't do family drama." I almost teared up. So yeah, Greg might have thought he was running a family, but I was done playing the rebellious teenager trying to earn allowance money. I walked away, emancipated and happier than ever.